And welcome to the second part, actually the third and fourth part of my healthy nutrition module in this program. And nutrition is not my bag. I am not a nutritionist, nor do I play one on TV, and I never give personal nutritional recommendations because you have to be certified to do that. But as you recall in the first part of this, section 1 and 2, healthy nutrition, module 4, part 3 and 4 actually. As I mentioned last week, you're going to get a checklist when we're all done with this program. That's going to tell you each of the module, each of the cornerstones, and the bricks to help you solve that cornerstone. Basically look at this as the problem, and this is the solution. So in healthy nutrition, the first section we talked about was food addictions, and we talked about the Food Nutrition Journal and Habit Tracker and how you can monitor your own nutritional habits, because we all are so habit-formed lives that we have to track them to find out what our nutritional tendencies are before we can fix them. The second part was weight stability, control, and loss. What do you do to control your weight? Because you have to control it before you can change it, either up or down. So you got to find a way to find it. Homeostasis to even my weight. Okay, I can eat. I'm not gaining any weight. I'm not losing any weight. So then you have control over your weight. So that is the second part. And we talked about the nutritional requirements, macronutrients and micronutrients, and how we use those. That is in the first part of the video that's on the YouTube channel. You can watch it again. So now we're on to 3 and 4. Nutritional requirements, wants versus needs, and how you can use nutritional professionals and certain tools to help you come up with the difference between wants and needs. And then 4, developing a nutritional plan. Again, we're going to review, we did this last time, reviewing labels, creating a menu, shopping, and meal prep. Those are important factors for, come on over here, grab a seat, for developing. So these are our 4 cornerstones of nutrition. We did the first 2, we're working on 3 and 4 today. Again, the first part was food addiction. That was our first problem. Again, we eat bad things all the time. I do too. And we're addicted to certain things. We're addicted to sugar. Folks, the whole world is addicted to sugar. If you could solve one thing in your life, would solve your addiction to sugar, your whole life would change. It's one of the hardest things, hardest addictions to kick. It's very hard to do. It's so powerful. It's like cocaine to people. You have to have it. You look for foods that have sugar and glucose in it because you need it. You need it for your brain function. You need it for energy. You need it for all the organs to work properly. As long as you don't eat too much, but who knows what is the right amount. So that's a food problem. Food addictions was our first problem. We're solving it by doing, again, using our food log, our journal, and our habit tracker to follow what we're doing. Hello. Follow what we're doing. The second problem was weight control. Again, the solution for weight control is nutritional requirements. Understanding what your nutritional requirements really are, not what you think they are, but finding out what your requirements are. And then using that to develop your shopping list to make sure you get enough of certain macros and micronutrients that you need in your diet. We talked about the food log. I gave everybody copies of this. You will get it, again, when we're done with this program, you're going to get a mass email with every document we've used in this program. So it'll all be there for you. Using this food log, the best way to find out what your habits are, write down what you eat. Use this type of document to track what you eat. You don't necessarily have to fill out the carbs, the kcals, and all that stuff every time. But you need to do it at least once. You have to go find out how many calories are in that Danish roll that you ate for breakfast and that cup of Java with all the sugar and stuff in it. You need to know what those are. So using a food log such as this one is a great way to do it. Again, another log. This is a little different format, but we talked about this. Meal 1, what you ate and what time you ate. Were you hungry? Do you had cravings? All these things are important markers to tell you what you're eating, because what you eat then is going to be based on what I ate, what your cravings are, you know, but this is the most important part, and I really wanted to hit this. The most important column is how you feel after you eat those foods. Within 1 to 2 hours after you eat, all that food is going to be digested. All those nutrients are in your system. If you feel bad, it's something you ate. You probably shouldn't have ate. It's something that didn't agree with your system. So that's a nice calm to have. Do you feel bloated? Do you have more cravings? You have foggy mind, slugs. These are certain things you can just pick your brain with to see how you felt. If I eat a big pizza, I know how I'm going to feel. Now, pizza, love pizza. Don't eat it as often as I used to. Got back off of it. Eat more healthier pizza. Don't eat it as often. And I don't have the bad feelings I used to have when I ate pizza all the time, like a weekly basis.
How do you stop once you start? Serious question?
I'm totally a non-believer in abstinence. You do not just avoid the food, because it's going to have a stronger hold over you than ever. If you're, I'm going to stay away. I'm going to feel guilty. I can't do it. I can't just have that one chip, because I want 2 and 3. Have 1 or 2 chips. You just got to know that's all you put on your plate and you walk away. Don't hold things away from you. Don't starve yourself when you need something. So this is, this was a simple form to use to show you what you eat, how you eat, and how important it is. A macro guide. So you went through that food lesson, what you ate. So I'm going to put down, okay, something you eat a lot. Maybe you have 3 pancakes. We'll figure out how many carbs are in those pancakes. You only got to do it once. Have this list. This is something you keep aside. You can say, all right, today I had, a cheeseburger. It's normally how many calories of protein, how many calories of fat. So you can really keep track if you're in that position to keep track of your calories. That's down the road. If you're someone who's really trying to control their weight, you need to do this. I recommend people do this every 6 months or so. Just go through a week, write down everything they ate, do the computation, see how you've changed, see how that normal diet is altered since you know better, and since you've hopefully made better choices. Hopefully you've made better habits to help you make those better choices. So it's a simple macro guide. And we talked about the macrocalculator.com. You can go online, you can figure it out like I did. All these things are on there. What energy, all these things that are programs that are free on their website that you can figure out your health. Here's mine, 1,060 calories per meal. I put in my information. Boom, that's what I should be eating. 137 grams of carbs, 29 grams of fat, 62 grams of protein. That was for me based on my height, weight, age, activity level, all the questions that it answers. So you could get an idea what your macros should be. That's going to support what you're currently doing, because you're eating for what you're doing later in the day and for the next day. You're not eating for what you did the day before. So if you know you're going to be busy, a lot of people tendency to eat more when they're going to be really busy, because they know, I'm going to be busy. I'm not going to have time to eat. I'm going to be on the road or whatever. So it's all things you can use to help track your nutrients, to help track your macro calculations so that you can eat healthier down the road. So that brings us to this part. That was a quick review we did in the first part. Problem number 3, what are those requirements? What are your wants versus your needs? Important. The solution, using nutritional professionals and tools such as that macro calculator. Don't be thinking that you can read a book and do it on your own. You can't fix your computer, can you? You can't fix your engine on your car anymore. You're not going to be able to fix your nutritional requirements if you don't know what they are. So please reach out to a professional when you can. There are a lot of them out there. Certified nutritionists, professional chefs, if you know somebody that's a chef, and professional food preppers. Now, where am I going to find these people? They're not here, right? Go to Google. I typed in professional nutritionist near me. 8,520,000 results came for nutritional professionals near me. Let me get your seat over here. Bring it back there for you.
I found you.
We haven't gone anywhere.
That's right. I know you're right.
So there's a lot of nutritional professionals out there. I did a search by our area code. These are people that came up. This is through Thumbtack. Anybody heard of Thumbtack? It's like a LinkedIn, it's a location where people go that have and advertise their profession. And Thumbtack is a good one. And so you can put in, you're looking for a painter in Thumbtack, and it'll come up with all the painters near you, give you a little bio about them. You can find out more information about them. So these are the ones that showed up on Thumbtack from around here. Now I've heard of some of these people's names. There's one back here. This lady at the top. She served Twinsburg. She responds within an hour. And I've actually asked her a question that she responded to me on this particular question for myself.
What is covered on the insurances?
Pardon me?
Are these people you can get on insurance?
I couldn't tell you about that. That's up to you and your insurance company. If you have an order from a doctor for a specific diet, you're more apt to be able to find a nutritionist that can help you do that.
Okay, thank you.
Again, more people around here. 104 hires on Thumbtack. She serves in Twinsburg. Women's weight loss dietitian. Ladies, you're different than us guys. I'm not here to tell you that you don't already know, but your nutritional requirements are far different than men's. Your hormonal balance changes are different than men's, and food affects your changes differently than men. So you need to speak with somebody who's a certified nutritionist, and I would suggest picking a female who specializes in hormonal balancing. Key thing for women who are trying to especially control their weight or lose weight. Here's another people. More people around here. I've talked to this coach Jen before. I've seen her at an event in Cuyahoga Falls. I think it was Cuyahoga Falls. So these are just people that popped up on the top of the list. Now I looked for chefs. Here's Savvy Chef. This is a guy that serves here in Twinsburg. They're available, $1 a person to do cooking for X amount of people. That's on top of the cost. So I mean, these people who know how to make good quality food in larger quantities, if that's something good you need. More online food services. You've heard of Pampered Chef and all those things. They have home delivery food. There's other people that can make specific meals for someone and have it shipped to your house that are local here in the area. So there are good resources out there. These are just all people in this area. A chef on call, $25 an hour he charges. Now you don't need to hire somebody to teach you 10 hours worth of information. You need to hire a chef like that to make you specific recommendations on how to prepare a dish. Actually, it'll take you an hour, and then you can prepare a dish. He could give you a recipe. So there's a lot of different ways that these people can help you in your nutritional plan. Catering services, Chef Lang. Again, serves Twinsburg. So that is the professionals. That is the people that can help you with that macros, knowing what your macros are. You did the calculations. You've maybe doing a food log. Hopefully you've done it periodically. Do a food log. Find out what you're eating. Do a macro calculation. Find out what the composition is of what you're normally eating. So then you can say, I'm having way too many carbs. I'm getting the highs and I'm getting the lows. My sugar is spiking and going down. I may be insulin resistant because I don't exercise enough. And medications affect all that. So there's a lot of things that could affect that. So again, it's important to find it. Use a professional. Use a nutritionist. There is Sarah here at the center that you can work with. She works for the city. Go to the front desk and ask for her number. She'll respond to you. She does nutritional work right here in Solon. She was like, phew, that's a whole lot. Now, again, I'm not a nutritionist. I can't tell you what to eat. I can show you how to eat better, how to prepare your foods better. Do a cooking demonstration. Do a group cooking demonstration where you can build a nice little organization of people that can do food preparation for groups. So you go to a place, you could go here, and you can have 5 people, and each person prepares 5 meals for 5 people, and you swap meals, and everybody has a different meal. They made what they're specializing in. So you can get meals that way. And there's a lot of different programs like that you can do. So brick 4, the solution for developing a nutritional plan. That's it, folks. This is your nutritional plan. This is the blank one that you're going to get if you haven't already seen it. It's just like the fitness plan. It's just like the stress management plan. It's just like the motivation and attitude plan. Who am I? What do I want? How do I accomplish it? Build a strong nutrition plan using self-discovery, the food logs, the food journals. That's your discovery of finding out what you eat. Put your goals down. It could be a weight loss goal. It could be to feel stronger. Make sure you're getting enough protein so your workouts are more energized. Put your dreams are. What are your dreams for your fitness program? What lessons have you learned about what you've done in the past that didn't work? Write those lessons down. What problems you may have, and then the corresponding solutions, such as we have here. Your 4 problems may be different than the 4 problems I'm listed here. These are just the 4 bricks as part of the healthy nutritional cornerstone I've identified that I think are important to start with. We're going to build more on later if you stay in the program or when you get into the lifestyle management part of this class afterwards, where we'll have once a month meetings somewhere here or somewhere else to discuss how we can advance this lifestyle further. We may have additional brick. We may share something new on nutrition. We may share something new on stress management that we can all work and continue your education process so you can develop that lifestyle. Reading labels, menu, shopping, and meal prep. Doesn't matter what kind of food you like, you got to be able to read the labels on those items. You need to develop your menu. You need to develop a good shopping list so you can shop efficiently as ever, especially with the rising cost of everything these days. And then worry about meal preparation. Either the freezer meals, which we talked about last time, that I belong to, or a meal prep, group of people that you can get together. Those are all different things, or just maybe yourself. I do meal prep on Sunday nights. I prepare 5 lunches that I have to go home and eat when I get done here. I used to do 5 dinners, and now we found out it doesn't work for my wife and I's lifestyle to prepare all those dinners all the time. So I'm preparing lunches, so I know I have a healthy lunch for me prepared when I get home that I prepare on Sundays. So they're all packed up in the refrigerator or freezer, and I can go home, microwave it, or put it in a crock pot or something else to develop my lunch really quick and healthy. So that's all part of the meal prep. Again, the healthy nutrition plan. I suggest you go through the time to fill it out. It only takes you about 10 minutes to complete this document that I just talked about to help you develop your nutritional plan. I do it once a year. I do all my plans once a year. I do my foundational research. I get my new blood work. I see my doctor. It's always in November. I'll be doing that pretty soon. So that by January or by the middle of December, I have all the information I need to develop my lifestyle plan, my nutritional plan, my fitness plan, my stress management plan, my mindset attitude plan. So I have 4 of these documents, all labeled differently, so that I can work these. So I got 4 pieces of paper that's going to help guide me for the next 12 months. Just the way I do it, and it's pretty successful for me. Again, grocery list. These are just things you can have just to jot your mind. So you make your grocery list. You can print these things out. Use a yellow marker. I need this, I need that. So when you go into the store, you make sure you get what you need for your menu is used to develop this grocery list. Again, just a quick review on nutritional labels. I was watching Willie Geist's show yesterday, or it was the CBS morning show. The guy who developed this just passed away. Unfortunately, he just passed away. Him and the government through 1973, whatever they started this. Bill Clinton was the president when they approved it. These are the labels that are standard labels on every package in the United States. It has to be there. Now you may have line items missing if it's not in that item, but this is the basic format of every nutrition label. So you got to understand how to read it. And it's best you don't read a lot of these, because then you know you're picking good, live, healthy food that doesn't have a label on it. Fruits and vegetables, chicken, and that's the best way. But if you're picking up a package and it's got a big label like this, I'm probably going to say it's probably not the best, healthiest thing you can eat. There's too many items on there. There's cholesterol, sodium, potassium, all these things on there. Look, all the statistics are there. And with this slide, you can show and read and learn how to take a quick glance, pick up a box at the grocery store, look, okay, that's something, it's too much, too high in sugar, too many servings. So you can know that that's a good or a bad item for you. You got to learn how to read the labels. I'd be more than happy to do a grocery store class where we go to the market district down the street and do a walk around the store. This is how I shop. I go around the whole outside of the store first. That's the healthiest foods are on the outside of the store. It's like that everywhere. The aisles in the middle are the unhealthiest foods. Aisles on the end, or the end caps, those are the companies that pay the most to put their food on the end of the caps. They pay for that because they charge a lot of money. They pay for specific shelving levels on a shelf. They pay where their food are. Maybe you didn't know that, but that's what happens. My father was a food broker back when they had such a thing, and he was the liaison between the manufacturers and the grocery stores. And I used to work with him when I was younger and help him deliver stuff, samples, and we'd set up shelves. And he'd explain how this is all done. It's still done that way. That whole thing is not, his job was fasted out of it. It was just eliminated. Now they all do it all directly online. They get their little iPad out and they make their orders. Yes?
Will that be on the computer?
On the computer, what do you mean?
I would just like a copy of that.
Oh, you'll get a hard copy of that, yes. And there's tons of, if you just Google food labels, you're going to get all kinds of examples. And then when you Google something, you can go to the images. Like on the top line of your Google search, you can select images, and it'll pick up images all about, say, food label images. And all of these things, that's where I got these. They all showed up just from using it, doing a data search.
Excuse me.
Yes.
I would like to recommend, if any of you all just happen to be with your grandchildren or something like that, educating them. I mean,
Yeah.
because why wait until they have a problem? Yesterday I was at work. This little guy, he probably was 10 years old with his parents. He wanted a Bloody Mary mix. I said, "Do you know what sodium is?" And of course he did not. And his mother whispered it in his ear. And she was a little overweight as well as his dad. And I said, we talked about salt. And then I said, "Do you know how much salt or sodium is in this can?" And he was like, "No." And I said, "Well, let's look at this and let's Bloody Mary mix and let's look at a tomato juice, which is equal, it's high too." The Bloody Mary mix had 1,450 grams of milligrams of sodium. The tomato juice had maybe like 770. I said, now to me, neither was right. But I said, "What about some apple juice?" "Nope, And I said, "Okay, so what about tomato juice?" And he was like, and his parents were like, "Whatever you want, Junior." He got the Bloody Mary mix. So
She's drinking Bloody Mary mix straight?
The little
Straight?
guy is drinking it straight. As well as, some other little guy was putting, I was like, "Can I give your child some apple juice?" He had a mini in front of him, but his parent allowed him to pour Coke in the mini. So I'm just saying, it's a different parenting today. But anyway, I also have a great nephew who I'm the guardian of. And my mom, she oftentimes would allow him to do ramen noodles because that worked for her. But again, the sodium level. So now that I have him, we actually go over what the label is, and I'm educating him, and it's working.
Mm-hmm.
It is actually
Sure.
working. He tells me things that I don't want any of that. Good for you.
Earlier the better. Yes.
I have a question. Have you checked with VHs? I know they do a lot of promos.
Yeah.
They had a VH. Because that's the only thing about Bloody Mary.
Well,
it has some other things.
Yeah.
I'm a flight attendant, so we serve Bloody Mary mix
okay.
and tomato juice.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to help him make wiser choices with
Yeah.
what we have.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you are absolutely right.
Yes.
You
And a lot of people don't know. A lot of adults don't know it. I tell them this, and we're on a 4-hour flight, and they're doing Bloody Mary mix. Okay, fine, but how about some water? I actually will put a glass of water there. I just do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's my thing.
No, it's well said. I mean, it's can't start early enough to educate kids, but we're not there. We're a little bit older than that. So what we're trying to do is to refresh our memory on stuff so that we can make better choices. And that's what reading a label is. I mean, this will basically tell you, how do you count your calories? The grams, 9, 4, and 4. Do the math, know what the calories are. You got 17 grams of sugar times 4, 68 calories per serving of carbohydrates. So, I mean, you can do the math and figure out what you're eating and say, hey, that's, maybe that's why I'm feeling jittery after I eat certain foods. And then I have the big crash where my insulin kicks up and then I crash, because there's that response. Yes?
So basically we should make our own food and eat it instead of
Well, that's the safest way. In the lifestyle, in Module 6 Lifestyle Maintenance, I talk about like the blue zones and stuff like that. What people do, the people who live the longest, the longevity, what certain habits they have, what are their rituals that they do to live longer. And it's a lot of doing it yourself. But we're a convenience society. We want to do it convenient. We want to drive here, drive there, in and out. So it's harder to do that. But learn to read the labels.
Sorry, this will be very quick.
Yeah.
Miss Smarty Pants. I went to a nutritionist. I was asking her, well, how much? I noticed she had a box of oatmeal on her thing. I said, how much of that should you eat? She took the container down and she went to the back of this thing, of the oatmeal. She looked at that. She says, well, 1 cup. I said, oh, wait a minute. Am I only supposed to be eating 1 cup of that? She said, yeah, that's a serving size. I did not know. I just thought, well, if you ate a cup, that's what it would be. I didn't realize you should be eating 1 cup of it. I had no idea. So
Perfect example
I didn't know.
with oatmeal too. That's a cup prepared. That's not a cup. That's not a cup. Because a cup dry is going to make 4 cups prepared. It's 4 times. Most pastas, most grains, 4 times the volume when you cook them. So that's 1 cup prepared. So yeah, you're eating 2 cups. That's 8 cups.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, I'm saying that's a big bowl. That's a big bowl. I can't eat 8 cups. I take about half to 3/4 of a cup when I do my oatmeal, and I do it. Yes.
Now, one thing I read in a thing about nutrition and weight ages ago was that if you're going into a restaurant or a bakery or something and you want a cupcake, if it takes 2 people to lift it out and put it on the counter, that is not 1 cupcake.
Yeah, yeah.
It's portion size.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole part of nutrition. Nutrition is portion size. Now, that's in another brick down the road in the program where I talk about portion sizes. But again, portion size is great to know, but you still got to know what you should and shouldn't be eating. So that's what I'm trying to, we're trying to get to that point. Is this will help you identify foods that are maybe outside your normal dietary requirements. So read labels so you can figure out that 95 milligrams of sodium. That's a lot of sodium. A lot of sodium. We need sodium in our diet. We don't need too much sodium in our diet. You will not do well if you have no sodium in your diet. Your brain needs sodium. Your organs need sodium. So you got to make sure you're not overindulging in the wrong kinds of sodium. Good old-fashioned table salt's better than some of the other products that they have out there, as far as salt. And it's hard to, well, I won't say that. It's hard to over salt with the shaker, but it is possible. But it's compared to what's in the foods. They put so much food in here as a preservative to whatever this is to make sure that it stays on the shelf for long enough and it tastes good because we want it to taste good. Same with sugar and salt. Again, we talked about part of the meal prepping. I just throwing this back at you that this is a service that I use. that I found pretty easy to do, pretty complete as far as nutritional. You get labels, this and that. It's something you can try. Look for services like this. This is just, I belong to this. I got menus. I've got directions. You take a bag, you do this, you do that, you put it in the freezer. When you're going to pull it out, you put it in the crock pot. You put some water in it, or you put some bouillon in it, or you put some broth in it, and you cook it. Just a way to prepare your food in advance so that you're not making bad choices. Because usually when we're in a hurry and we're not prepared, we make bad choices. So the more you prepare, the better you're going to be. Prepare. I'll leave you with this. These are healthy eating habits that you can't lose by. Eat breakfast every day. Don't skip your breakfast, the most important meal of the day. As a matter of fact, my breakfast is my biggest meal of the day. I'm an exact opposite eater. And we'd all be better off if you ate the biggest meal in the day, smaller at lunch, and the really smallest at dinner. It creates a longer fast for you overnight. It spikes your sugar and all that stuff earlier in the day as opposed to late in the day. It's just overall better for most humans to make sure you eat a good, strong breakfast. It's your most important meal of the day. Eat whole foods. Talk about not nutritional labels. Fruits and vegetables that don't have labels, whole foods. Stock up on whole grains, fruits, vegetables, milk, yogurt. These are good things, people. Have a no meat day. Anybody have a no meat day? People are all vegetarians. I'm not one of those. I'm a meat and potatoes guy. I was born to an Irish father and a German English mother who baked everything and cooked 15,000 casseroles, and they would all be different. So to have a no meat day was hard for me. I do that regularly. I have a no meat day once a week, and it's strictly my fast day. I have usually one day a week when I only have one meal, and it's not high in meat. It's high in carbs because I have low carb the 3 days before. So I have one day. My one meal day is going to be a little higher in carbs, good carbs, a lot more vegetables, so you don't need it. So having no meat day is something that's really good. Again, these are just habits to put on that habit tracker to try to develop new habits. Increase your water intake. Drink plenty of water, helps flush out all the toxins out of your system. Reduce your sugar intake. Again, sugar shock. You read that book, Sugar Shock. Talks about what sugar does in our body and how fast it does it to us. If you ever seen the papers on like a soda drink, what does your body do after you drink a soda? What it does to your blood chemistry and how fast it affects your blood chemistry is enough to scare you away, as does the pictures of how much sugar is in different beverages. Yes?
Yeah, I did a lot of reading. Glycemic index,
Yeah.
White sugar has the same level as white bread. Hits your body fast.
Yeah.
It's like a freight train going through town.
Yep.
Boom. So same thing. You get the immediate teeter-totter high, then you slam
Yeah, you get
down.
the crash. Yep. So reduce your sugar intake. No more than 200 calories. 12 teaspoons. You say, what's 12 teaspoons? About what's in a pop is about 12 to 15 teaspoons of sugar in a can of soda, or a serving of fruit juice that's too high in sugar. Orange juice, tomato juice, high in sugar as well as high in sodium. Quit snacking in between meals. Now, the only reason I say that is because if you eat it in a more frequent time scale, bless you, you don't have this long period between meals, you're more apt to not crash if you had a bad meal. So eating 5 meals shorter together every 2 hours is better than eating 2 meals or 3 meals, like 2 meals. My wife's is a 2-mealer, and they're 6 hours apart. It's really not good for your system to be doing that high and low, because you're going to overeat that one meal because it's going to have to carry you all the way to the next meal. Boom, boom, boom. The whole value of smaller meals quicker in between. You don't have to snack as much, because most snacks aren't as healthy unless you're really good at making healthy snacks. making good choices with your snacks. Stop binge eating. Who does that? I've been known to have one too many pieces of pizza when I do have that. So binge eating is really bad. That's going to really spike your sugar up high, really going to mess your metabolism up. It's really going to mess your insulin resistance. All stop binge eating as much as you can. Again, remove all soda from your diet. Soda stream, what I drink mostly, it's strictly carbonated water that I carbonate with some drops, fruit drops or something else, and stevia for my seasoning. So no to 2 calories per a whole bottle of that.
I have a question. Do you rank, when you're saying no sugar, I eat very little, but I do use honey like in my coffee. I do a lot of fruit and some dried fruit. Those have natural sugar. And some people say, well, sugar is sugar.
No, it's not. Here's Tim's rule that I go by, okay? Your protein should be no bigger than the size of your palm and the thickness of your palm. Your fruits should fit in 1 hand per serving. Your vegetables, 2 hands. So your dinner should have a piece of protein, 2 hands of vegetables, and if you're having dessert, maybe a small handful of fruits. That's going to keep that sugar from going too high because portion control. So just use your hands. It's a good way for you to just think about what is a good portion size for you.
It's in fruits or dry fruits?
Huh?
Dried fruits or
Fruits or dry fruits?
Fruit is fruit. When they dry a fruit, they take the moisture out, not necessarily all the sugar. So if you rehydrate it or you just eat it raw, you're still getting a similar amount of sugar. It's not that much like a light fruit. Again, remove the soda, grab a bottle of water as much as you can. Get a good water filter in a pitcher or on a home system to filter your water at home. As good as our water tastes, there's still a lot of bad stuff in our water, tap water. So as much as you can filter out water, you're better off doing that than buying bottled water that may be filtered, may not be filtered, may not be spring water, could be right out of the tap in the back of someplace. You never know. I like to guarantee that I'm drinking fresh water. So I have a water filtration thing in my house, and I use a water pitcher with a further filtration. So I'm double filtering it before I drink it. It tastes better. If you get used
to it right on your water tank?
right under the sink.
Oh, you have it under the sink.
There's one of those 3 filter little things, yeah. And that's the better system, reverse osmosis system. But this is just a 3 filter, carbon filter system, which really makes a difference. Filtering your water, read the food labels, number 9, like we just talked about. Read your labels. Get used to reading the labels. You're going to make better choices. If you pick up that label, you can pick up 2 boxes of whatever the product is. Potato flakes, whoever eats those, right? I grew up, we had eight people at the dinner table. We ate potato flakes. We ate whatever we could afford. And just as an example, or pick up 2 boxes of rice and read the labels on the rice. One may have way more sodium than the other. One may have way more magnesium or potassium than the other. Read the labels. Just take a quick look. I never throw anything in my cart without reading the label to see if it's within my range that I want. Important. Questions. Again, on healthy nutrition. Requirements, wants versus needs. We all got the wants. We all want that extra candy bar or extra piece of pizza. You may not want it if you know how it's affecting your overall dietary requirements. If it's putting you over the edge, it's going to be maybe something that pushes you to say, maybe I don't want it that bad. So just knowing what your needs are, and then knowing what your wants are, you can make better choices. So knowing your wants and needs is super important. Using nutritional professionals as much as you can. If you know somebody who's a chef, pick their brain, find out what they do, what they use. If you go to a restaurant and you have a meal you like, I ask the waitress, can I talk to the chef? Have them come out. I really like this meal, I want to know how you prepare it. And I'll ask them, and I'll jot it down if it's something I like, I can't go, like me personally, I can't go to most Chinese restaurants. too high in sodium. That good old stuff they call MSG, monosodium glutamate, it affects me differently than other people. There's a lot of bad misinformation, or not necessarily bad, but misinformation about MSG. It's really not that bad. But if you have an allergy to it, if you have a reaction to it, it's something you got to avoid. I go to one of those places, my head is just pounding, like right away, because I know there's MSG in there. I have to avoid it. So it's something you learn, about what your diet is. That's why tracking, using that form where you track how you felt after you ate, is an important thing. But go to a restaurant. If you find something good, ask the chef. They love to tell you how they cook the food if they're a good chef. If they're really busy and they're just line cooks, not so much. But if you go to a nice restaurant, if you go up here to the Blue Canyon in Twinsburg and you have a good meal, ask the chef. They will come out to your table and they will talk to you about that meal. And they take it as a compliment that you're asking how they made their food. A good chef will. Any good chef will. So, and it's a good way to avoid it. I really didn't like the way that tasted or how it felt. Find out again, what did they put in there that you may be able to make that meal without adding to it, or put a substitute in so you don't have that reaction or that bloating or whatever it may be based on the food you eat. And that's going to happen more or less. It's going to happen more when you start tracking it and you start thinking about how you felt after the meal instead of just letting it go overhead. If we're our own best advocates, we should know about our health, know about our nutrition, know what stresses us out the most. Yes.
Actually, you're right. And when you learn things that make you feel good, you read recipes in books, and then you read the nutritional breakdown for a serving, and you can see where to adjust it, how to make changes.
Now that takes effort.
Yeah, it does.
Everybody won't do that.
And you read it and go, well, I don't like that. Well, what can I substitute for it? Hey, Google, what can I put in?
Everyone won't do that. That's why I got these 9 things of healthy eating habits. You need to put these 9 eating healthy habits in. You don't got to worry about that so much because you're going to make better choices.
Right.
So, that's the whole purpose of adding this type of thing in there is that I don't want people to think they have to read every label. But if you're trying to find out why I felt bad after I ate this particular dish, maybe you ought to read the label and find out what's in it. Find out if there's something in there that doesn't sit well with you. Maybe you're belching for hours later. There's a reason for that. You can find that out. Find out what ingredients in there that your body doesn't particularly care for that much. It'll tell you. Yeah.
Easy question.